Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to High School Star League's spring season. I'm Achilles. With me is Binai, and we are here for Methacton High School versus Ola. Methacton is up one game over Ola, and we are getting into the second game here. To repeat, unfortunately, we are dealing with replays this evening, so we do not have the pick and ban phase for these games, so we don't know quite what happened, but we do know that Nidalee did not make it through this time. So very unsurprising there, as we had a very dominating performance coming in. Gnar as well, not being seen in this matchup. But otherwise, we do have some interesting picks coming in. For instance, the Akali being grabbed, Shyvana as well, and Riven coming into this game. And we're actually seeing Fan W on Kalista.
Yeah, this pick and ban phase looked like it was very Silicu-esque. Seeing the Shaco coming in, very strong Silicu champion. Karthus as well. Not something you see very often in high-level games. Now, you have to keep in mind that these teams are playing for $20,000 in possible scholarship money to go to college, as well as a chance to play in the finals near Los Angeles at the end of the semester. So there is a lot on the line, but the first game was just such a smash by Methacton High. I don't think they're taking this game as seriously. I mean, and you can kind of tell with the Lee Sin top, the Shaco jungle, the Karthus with teleport revive. I think that we're seeing some disrespect coming up from Methacton, so we'll see if Ola High is going to be able to take advantage of that and punish Methacton for the disrespect champions that they've picked.
It's absolutely quite possible. And I mean, if there's one character that you can really punish somebody on, it is that Akali. You get her snowballing, and you're going to have one heck of a time. So we'll have to see what Wild Will is able to do. Didn't have too fantastic of a showing with his Fizz in the last game. So maybe once he gets that level 6 mark and can jump in onto Konoyaru, we might see him turn into the playmaker. So we'll have to see what happens when we reach that point. For now, he's probably going to have a pretty passive time. As we can see, though, actually, Konoyaru coming in on the Shaco. Just going to go ahead and hit him a couple times, get that red buff out. Actually, just noticed that Konoyaru is in the jungle this time, and we have Toby Hat in the mid lane, switching a little bit of roles around. Black Reaper actually now in the jungle. So, or no, the Black Reaper's still in the top lane. I'm mixing up all my things. See, these guys have juggled their roles, and now I'm confused. Thanks a lot, Methacton.
Yeah, and then the
Making my job hard.
Normally you see Lee Sin in the jungle too, so that kind of makes it confusing. It's like, oh, why is the jungle in top lane? Oh, this game makes no sense.
Yeah, they're just doing it to mess with me, and it's working, but not anymore. I have figured out your ruse, Methacton. No more. But as you can see, Highlander picking up his blue buff, just going through his jungle pretty gradually. Not getting any ganks off, really, but Reaper putting down some damage onto Dolan in that top lane. Konoyaru, meanwhile, picks up his blue. A little bit delayed, did have that slight gank, rather pit stop in the mid lane. So he's a little bit behind on his clear. But now we might see some convergence, possibly down in mid lane. From Shyvana, nope, opting to recall. Gonna get that first buy-in, but Dolan and Black Reaper dueling it out in the top lane. Dolan being taken very low, eating a couple minion auto attacks, working him down. But nothing really big gonna come of that.
You can already see the minion advantage just start to form Methacton High. In the top lane, it's still relatively close, but in the mid lane, 11 to 19, 13 to 24. As the AD carries go, and you can just see the more skilled CSing coming out from Methacton High, and that just comes from the fact that they are higher elo players, and it just goes to show how important CSing is. And I really think that Methacton High is going to show how you can take that CS advantage and turn it into teamfight skirmish wins when you get further into the mid lane and into the mid game, as well as just the lane skirmishes that come down after a back or two when you just have bigger items coming out from Methacton High because they do have more CS.
Yeah, the disparity is certainly growing. 34 to 15. Mr. Dropkicker not really able to pick up CS in the last 35 seconds or so here. hasn't quite been in position. There we go. He finally gets one. Shinigami playing a bit forward, takes a tower shot. He's looking for a grab. He's absolutely dying of thirst for these. He had a fantastic showing on that Thresh in the last game. Landed the hooks where they mattered. So we'll have to see if he's able to do the same. Gets a grab on a drop kicker. They don't quite want to dive this one just yet. So just really doing it to get some extra harass out. Nothing too significant going to come of it.
I'm actually surprised at how passive Conejero is playing on that Shaco. Shaco is one of those champions that is very good at invading the enemy jungle, as well as those early ganks. And that's what makes him so scary in solo queue. But Conejero is content just farming, and even then he's still behind in farm compared to the Shyvana. So I have to give GT Highlanders props here. The only role right now that is actually ahead for Ola High.
Yeah, we'll have to see if that makes a significant difference. Shyvana, of course, you want to get her leveled up quite quickly to get that dragon form. So you can see Black Reaper putting down some nice damage. Eats a turret shot, however. So they will nearly trade even. Black Reaper and Dolan up in that top lane. Who's having a little bit of a rough time on Riven. Lee Sin, not really somebody that she's good at fighting, as we can see. Meanwhile, in the bot lane, it's just a harass fest coming in here for FanW and Shinigami. And they are just keeping Nexus Red and Sir Dropkick at their turret and just really disabling their farm. Now 20 CS ahead. Here comes GTX Highlander, however, in the top lane. Finds out Black Reaper, but a nice Dragon's Rage with the Sonic Wave and Resonating Strike will find a first blood for Black Reaper. Very well executed, and just completely halts that gank right in its tracks. In its tracks. Dolan trying to get the wind slash out, but it's not going to be able to happen. Sonic Wave, Resonating Strike yet again. Weave in an auto attack, and Black Reaper primes himself 2 kills.
Just take back everything that I said about Shyvana being ahead in the jungle, and props to GTX Highlander for staying ahead in farm. Going into a lane, dying, 2v1, not too hot. And now we see the counter jungle coming in from Conejero, picking up the red buff. Might actually die though, as he is low on mana. Has to flash away.
Yeah, flashes away. The smite came out as well. Looks like he's going to try to do a little bit of a juke. He's recovering mana. GTX Highlander gets the flash as well. Doesn't land the E. Can he find the mana to get out? No, he does not. That's going to be 1 kill going over to the side of Ola. Now 1 and 2 in this. A nice pickup and a recovery of the red buff for Highlander.
That was actually a really big blunder from Conejero there. He could have easily just flashed over the wall, but instead he wastes his flash just to move forward a little bit. Because of that, ends up dying. He also would have had a better chance of escaping if he just ran to Toby Hat in the mid lane. Toby Hat could have just thrown down his slow, and he could have escaped that way. But misplaying that ends up giving away the red that he stole, and that causes the score to change to 1-2. And this game is a lot closer so far. Although there's a massive lead in the top lane net right now for Black Reaper.
Yeah, and as we can see, Wild Will, he's trying to change that. He throws down the Ignite onto Toby Hat. It doesn't keep going in, however. Almost certainly had kill potential, just fearing the Karthus a bit. Doesn't want to get caught up in that defile. But as we can see, Highlander coming around from the side. Still doesn't have 6 as they aggress in. Looks like they're going to go ahead and finish him off, but Highlander's going to pay for it with his life, just soaking 3 turret shots in a row. Now Conejero coming in, the ultimate comes across from Karthus. He gets slowed out by the dagger. It's just a matter of a few auto attacks. He throws down the shroud, however. Looks like he will get out alive. A nice pickup, now 2 and 3 here. Ola still hanging in there. Some gold disparity, but nothing as extreme as we saw in the last game.
That gank from GTX Highlander made me want to die. She took 5 tower shots and died to Karthus because she literally just tanked tower 5 tower shots in a row. Karthus hardly did like 50 damage to Shyvana there, and Shyvana died because she just stood in tower range the entire time.
Yeah, really rough play, but speaking of rough play, the direct opposite just happened in the top lane. We saw Black Reaper, yet again, just Dragon's Rage combined with that Resonating Strike, absolutely decimating Dolan in the top lane, who was, until just now, really built nothing but defensive. He already has Ninja Tabi built. Grabbing the Vamp Scepter now, very much not the standard Riven build that you would see. But here comes a double gank down in the bot lane. FanW getting caught out. He throws the ulti forward with Shinigami. Flashes forward. Now Wild Will caught out under the turret. Gets exhausted. He will go down. The grab, not able to land on Sir Dropkick, but here comes Toby Hat with a TP down to the bot lane. He is just wrecking with the file. Looks like Sir Dropkick gonna fall. Toby Hat finds that kill, and now they're aggressing onto Nexus Red, who is being taken excruciatingly low, and he will find the kill underneath the turret with his Skittles. Picks up that one. And now they might want to just turn all eyes straight onto this bot turret, and maybe even the dragon. Looks like it's going to be the latter option coming in here for Methacton High.
The top tower most likely going to fall for Methacton High. They're mostly going to pick that up here in a few seconds, as Riven can just not lane against the Black Reaper here. So far behind.
Yeah, 3 levels.
3 kills right now onto Lee Sin. 100 CS to 47. That's a 53 CS lead at not even 12 minutes into the game. And honestly, 100 CS at 11, 12 minutes is really, really good.
Yeah, oh, actually, he gets the War Dash forward, lands a Sonic Wave with a Resonating Strike. Gonna go ahead and finish that one off with the Cripple. Finds himself his 4th kill of the game. Very great pickup. Gets the tower as well on top of that. Of course, Dragon did go over to Methacton. So now they do have that 6% buff coming in for them, and that is just going to exacerbate things for Ola, who have just so far been having a very rough time. Wild Will, very much the last vestiges of hope for Ola in this matchup.
Yeah, the problem though is that Wild Will isn't going to have any engage to try and follow up on, and it doesn't matter how far ahead you are as an Akali, and she's not even ahead, she's just kind of even right now. But when you're ahead and you have no team and you try and engage, even with your invisibility, you're just going to get nuked, especially with that Lee Sin there. All he has to do, throw down his E, and they can see Akali while she's in Wind Shroud.
Yeah, as we can see, Dolan stopping his back, scared of the Sonic Wave coming out. And now Highlander joining him, actually. Now in the bot lane, Shinigami getting tossed forward by FanW's ultimate. Looks like he may not actually be able to find the kill onto Nexus Red. Heal comes out, saving his life from that rend. Not quite able to find it. Looks like we have a disconnect. Maybe they'll actually pause this time. No, reconnects immediately. No need. GTX Highlanders trying to hold that top tier 2 tower. Doing a decent job of staving off Black Reaper, but he is just miles ahead of any member of Ola at the current moment. And it looks like Shinigami and FanW want to go ahead and really aggress on this bot tower. The hook not going to be able to connect to anyone. And now actually a TP into the top lane. Going to be cancelled out by Black Reaper. So that is a major cooldown being burned. FanW does pick up the tower. Nexus Red being taken very low. Ren's going to finish him off. Now he turns eyes on Mr. Dropkicker, who's going to go ahead and Arcane Shift away. Nice! Arcane Barrage does find himself a kill against FanW. So he fires back. Nothing's for free. Meanwhile, Dolan in the top lane stuns out Koniaru underneath the tower. Here comes GTX Highlander. The Ignite not going to be enough. He smites out the decoy, but here comes the ulti from Toby Hat, taking Dolan down to about, wow, that must have been about 16 HP. I didn't quite get to see it in time, but he was flashing red for sure. Almost finds the kill, but not.
It was
quite
actually
able.
1-digit HP.
Oh yeah.
That
Okay. Wow.
Dolan fell to there. But have you ever watched the live stream? It's like Teemo something where they show like the lowest elo games. Some of these plays have made me think about that a little bit. As we see these plays where like every skill shot misses.
Yeah, and as you can see, oh wow, GTX Highlander getting caught out by the Sonic Wave, does get taken down by the Resonating Strike, and now Dolan in a precarious spot underneath of his own turret. Here comes Wild Will as they try to aggress. He pops the ultimate, but Windslash not going to do too much when you're dead. Black Reaper finding himself a fireback kill in the 1v2 situation. Now 6-0 on this Lee Sin. He is absolutely just decimating. As you can see, he has built a Zizzarat portal, and now he is going on to Wild Will. He has the Resonating Strike, follows through with it. Wild Will,
Why
not
did
much.
Achille walk back towards him?
He was dead either way. I think it didn't really matter too much what Wild Will did in that situation. He was gonna fall. Black Reaper would be able to follow through and find that kill, regardless of the situation. He's been just absolutely decimating right now, and this is just one heck of a game coming out yet again for Methacton, who are looking to go 2-0. Ola having a bit better of a showing. Methacton was, I believe, about 22 kills in before they gave up a kill to Ola. Now 3-12 in this matchup. And as you can see now, Koniaru overextended a little bit, forced to go ahead and jump over the wall to safety. But meanwhile, FanW is just wreaking havoc in this mid lane, ripping through the minions, trying to get onto this tier 2 mid tower, which is already below half HP. It's only going to take one concerted push from their team. They get a grab onto Wild Will, not able to follow through and get any real aggression here. Now, aggression actually coming out from Wild Will onto Koniaru. Will find a kill with the Ignite, but fired back by FanW, finds himself a kill of his own. We're going to go ahead right back to farming. Arcane Barrage comes out. Doesn't do too much damage coming out. He's only got a BF sword, which is actually an interesting first item pickup here for an Ezreal in the current meta. BF sword, not something that we see too often.
Honestly, it doesn't really matter what he buys.
Yeah, well, here comes Highlander, tries to aggress, but just gets bopped immediately. Shinigami actually finding that kill, and now Nexus Red flashes away, almost being taken down by the Q coming up from FanW. But they're just going to be able to stick around, really, for the most part. Grab comes in, does a dropkick. Can they find a kill? No, Arcane Shifts will take him to safety.
So for those of you guys who do not know about how the High School Star League works, the way that the point system works is that if all the games are best of twos, and if you win both games, you are awarded 3 points. If it goes 1-1, each team gets 1 point, and then if you lose both of your games, you don't receive any points. So it is a very big thing to win both games because you win triple the points of going 1-1. So Methacton is going to be really happy with this performance today against Ola High. Not only do they get the 3 points because it is looking most likely like it is going to be a 2-0 for Methacton as just another dominating performance, but also these games just were not even close. And I have to give props to Black Reaper specifically because he has just been doing a phenomenal job in that top lane.
Yeah, he is just crushing right now.
7-0. 169 CS, almost 100 CS. 100 CS now ahead of his lane opponent, Doli Dottis. 0-4 Riven and a 1-4 Shyvana. Most of those kills because of Black Reaper. And his aggression in that top lane has allowed the rest of Methacton High just to do whatever they want.
Wow, Koniaru showing some BM in the bot lane, but the Ignite comes out and Dolan fires back, finds himself a kill. So punishing that little dance that Koniaru had going on down there. Tobiat trying to aggress, doesn't get the wall out quite fast enough. Now Wild Will running straight into Shinigami. Gets flayed back, does not really aggress. As you can see, all attention now on the bot lane for these guys. Meanwhile, while we did have a lot of action going on near the mid and top portions of the map, we did have Methacton grab their second dragon of the game. So they are resting on that increased damage to towers, which is just going to make their jobs that much easier. FanW finds Wild Will, but here is Highlander at the same time. He has vision out from that W passive. No, he doesn't. It goes away. Wild Will forced to go ahead and retreat. Highlander in a bad spot now. Flash forward by FanW. The Q does not connect, but Highlander almost certainly going to fall here. The Rend claims the kill. And FanW just resting high and mighty Only 3-1-2 really, but he has the Infinity Edge and the Runon's Hurricane completed. Now has about 600 gold. I'm sure we'll see him pick up some boots here shortly.
Toby Hat just needs to hit 1 Q and he can just ult for the kill.
Yeah, oh, actually, Wild Will aggressing on the Toby Hat, but he just gets ripped through by the Q's coming out from Karthus. Now Black Reaper gets stunned out by the Crescendo, but there's really no follow-up from it from Dolan, and they're forced to go ahead and back off here. Reaper still very much in a safe position. Banner of Command with the Tiamat, joined by Konoyaru, who actually has double Moby boots. I cannot recommend going double Moby boots, kids. Do not try this at home.
Yeah, not necessarily the most efficient build there, as one set of Moby boots is completely useless. Actually, no stats given there.
Yeah, Nexus Red gets grabbed out. Wall comes down. Looks like he may fall to Karthus. Here comes the ultimate. He will be taken down. Now Black Reaper in the ranks of the base here. And he is just wreaking havoc. Wild will fall. Shinigami going to go ahead and pick up that kill, taking most of the turret shots. Now, at the same time, he will fall. Toby Hat finding himself a kill onto Dolan. This is almost certainly going to be the...
kill comes out to Ezreal. What a close fight.
Absolutely, yeah. The Arcade Barrage finds a kill for Dropkicker. But he's going to go ahead and have to back off as the Nexus turrets are now being burned down. Just 21.5 minutes into this game. The one at half HP looks like they're actually going to go ahead, pull out of this one. Not going to overstay their welcome.
A successful defend coming out from Ola High, keeping their base alive.
For now. Yeah, it's certainly a rough game for these guys.
Yeah,
but just a very dominating performance by Methacton, so there's not much you can do in that regard.
Yeah. And honestly, Shaco was absolutely useless in this game. 1-3-3 now. He picked up his first kill in that last fight. He actually sold his second pair of mobility boots. I guess deciding that investment was not worth his money. But yeah, he hasn't done much at all. But sadly for Ola High, Shyvana has done more harm than good.
Yeah.
Giving extra kills to Black Reaper in the top lane. I mean, that just goes to say sometimes it's better to not do anything than it is to feed.
Yeah, I almost want to say that the Shyvana pickup might have been lack of champion pool coming into this one. Maybe the J4 was probably banned out from the first game. So GTX Highlander might not have too much at his disposal as far as junglers go. So he might have had to fall back on that Season 3 champion that is Shyvana. She's not somebody that we see really any of in the current meta. And Dolan, we are not going to be seeing too much of him either as Black Reaper finds him out with a couple other members of his team, and he will just get absolutely decimated there in the jungle. Meanwhile, look at this wave in the top lane. Super Creeps coming into the base. They're going to start hammering down on that already damaged Nexus turret, which is just going to absolutely open up the rest of the map objectives for Methacton here. As we can see, the tier 2 bot tower now being taken down. All eyes are going to be turned on to this bot inhibitor turret. And from there, they could possibly go straight for the Nexus towers, or they might want to opt to go for the mid. We'll have to see what's going to happen. Here comes the Dragon's Ascent in from Highlander, who's just being taken down very, very low, very, very fast. Toby Hat will find himself a kill there. Wild Will fires back onto Shinigami, but Dolan is going to get taken out by Toby Hat, who finds himself a triple kill now in this exchange. Here comes the ultimate. Can he find himself a Quadra? He does, in fact. Penta not going to be able to happen. Reaper forced to go ahead and back. Only one alive is, aside from FanW, who is now sitting in his base. Dropkicker, the only one from Ola that was able to survive. Black Reaper takes down the inhibitor turret. Looks like he's going to go straight for this inhibitor as well. Doesn't have too much to worry about going up against her Dropkicker.
Yeah, that fight was actually surprisingly close, and that just goes to show how bad the picks were from Methacton High. And then they were still able to win the fight just because of how far ahead they are. Black Reaper might fall here, though.
Yeah, this could be his first death in the game. We'll have to see if they decide if they can hunt him down. Then they do. That's going to be shut down going over to Dolan. Looks like FanW may be having some difficulty here yet again. This would be his second disconnect in 2 games. Yet again, no pause coming out. Methacton not worrying themselves with that. And
Yeah, I mean,
Dolan taking down the Zizzarat portal.
Might as well just keep playing it out. I mean, you could probably win a 4v5.
Yeah, I'd say given the substantial lead that they have, they almost certainly could. For instance, Black Reaper has nearly double the amount of gold. Yet again, the Dolan does. He is sitting at about 12.3k compared to 6.3k for a Riven, who has just only completed a Hydra with Home Guard, Ninja Tabi. Wild Will getting spot out by Konoyaru. Force the flash over the wall out of Shroud. Will get him to safety for now. Wards over the wall. Here he comes in stealth. He will find Wild Will, and he does take him down. Now Dolan in a bad spot as he's going to get smote out, and now Toby Hat finds himself that kill.
Yeah, we see the teleport coming in from Black Reaper.
Yeah.
Probably going to be the last inhibitor falling here. Most likely the game within the next few minutes, as Ola just can't do anything to defend this. 3 inhibitors down. Actually, top inhibitor just respawned. But yeah, another very, very one-sided game in favor of Methacton High. Just look at the CS in all the lanes. Look at the kill differences in all the lanes. It's kind of brutal for Ola High. Yeah. I mean, there's not much you can really say about it. Like, there wasn't just like one mistake they made or a few things they did wrong.
Well, this could be their chance to fire back. Toby Hat's very low. He actually does get taken down by Wild Will, but they do fire back. They are just ripping through the ranks of Ola yet again. So Dropkicker, the only one alive. Now a 4-for-1 exchange.
The problem is, when you fall so far behind in the laning phase, it just doesn't even matter what your mid and late game strategy is, because no matter what it is, it's going to fail just because you don't have the gold to put up any fight for any objective. And that was just the case of both of these games going over to Methacton High straight from the laning phase. Just such a big advantage coming out within 12-15 minutes that Ola had no chance to get a dragon, no chance to get a tower. I mean, that was not one tower picked up for Ola High in either game. And that just shows how dominating it was from 1 minute to 27 minutes.
Yeah, Methacton just with a fantastic showing against Ola. Absolutely crushing their ranks, really just giving them no chance whatsoever to get any kind of foothold in those matches. So good news for Methacton. They do net themselves 3 points in the spring season. Ola, unfortunately, not able to quite grab onto anything there. We'll have to see if they can do better later on. But very well played going over to Methacton. Unfortunately, folks, that is going to be the action that we have for you tonight. We do not have a second set of games coming up for you. It's just going to be those two, at least I believe. But we're going to cut to some music here. So thank you for joining us.
And thanks to our sponsors once again, especially Blue Lake and Twitch. Also, you can follow myself on Twitter at Legend by Night. You can also follow Achilles on Twitter. What's your Twitter there, man?
That would be Achilles Casts on Twitter. Feel free to check that out if you did enjoy the cast. Feel free to give us some feedback. And of course, also check out High School Star League on Twitter. It's HS Star League on Twitter. But like you said, big shout out to our sponsors, Twitch, Newegg, Rockcat, MSI, Jinx Apparel, and Loot Crate. We thank them very much for their support. And that's really brings the High School Star League together and allows us to put on these amazing scholarship pools that we have for these teams coming out. $35,000 worth of scholarships on the line for these teams coming in here.
Yep.
So
and remember,
we'll take it in the end.
Remember as well, High School Star League will be live again tomorrow and on Sunday at the same time, starting at 6 p.m. PST. So make sure to tune in for hopefully some more exciting matches than this set was the next few days. But yeah, that's pretty much all we have for you today.
Yep, so you guys have an excellent night, and we will see you tomorrow.